If you'd like to see more of our videos, hit the subscribe button to stay on top of the market news. Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Razak at CMtrading. Today's November 19th, 2020. And today is Thursday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, Alcoa stock explodes yesterday over the last couple of days, even though the markets have been retracing, showing some relative strength there. Now, first, looking at the economic calendar of the day, nothing scheduled for today. But as we're looking at the markets, the US dollar gains versus the major pairs. Okay, not much, but gaining enough as we are in resistance-ish level. We're going to take a look at that in just a second. Dow Jones and the Nasdaq pretty much tapering off, really with lower volume as things kind of rotate after the retail sales that we had a few days ago. Now, looking at commodities, gold tapers off and oil bounces. While we're looking at the stocks, as mentioned, Alcoa explodes, but the FANG stocks retrace, okay, and sell off as well. And lastly, looking at Bitcoin remaining very strong and remaining steady, close to 18,000. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So starting out with the Euro USD, you could pretty much see that we're tapering off with the volume, okay? Really unchanged from day to day. I mean, 30 pip range is really very tight. If we look at that, we're at that top of the range, 1850 right now. If we look at a shorter time frame, just to give us a perspective here, look at a 30-minute, you can see that it's really very tight. I mean, the high of this is 1892, low of it is 1838. Which a 60 pip move is a very difficult move over a time period of a couple of days. Okay, so just be aware that we are at the top of the range. Okay, the fact that we're tapering off here is quite understandable. GBP showing a little bit more strength here, okay, as it's closer to that range, but also receding as well. Rand got weaker, okay, that was the support level. 1531 was the euro support level versus the US dollar, and did get weaker versus the USD. So things are a little bit rotating, lower volume at these areas, okay, so nothing really to jump out at us, okay. It was to be expected as well. Looking at gold, tapering off here to 1884 as we're closing in to 1864, as we're closing in at this 1850-ish level. So that does show us that it's getting a little bit weaker, okay, but not with some major momentum, okay. Looking at oil, we're just bouncing here at 41.77, okay. As this is consolidating, you know, we're anticipating the markets will start opening up in the first quarter, second quarter of 2021. So we may see this continue to, you know, tease us on the upper range as the markets are anticipating the opening up of the airline business, of the shipping business, you know, as things kind of consolidate, okay? Looking at the Dow Jones, all right, we did sell off over the past couple of days from 29,900 to 29,450. A nice 350-point retracement, okay? So it is showing us some weakness here, okay? If we look at the Nasdaq, also hit that resistance at 12,000. But this is I'm surprised about, okay? Because remember, back in August, the end of August, it was the high-tech stocks that were high-flying. They were making new highs on the year, were very strong. And here they're tapering up on the last quarter of the year. Okay, so if we look at the individual stocks, Apple down over $1 over the last day. Facebook also down a couple of bucks there. Looking at Microsoft also retracing underneath that 215 resistance level. Okay, so this is to be expected. If we jump into Amazon as well, did retrace here to 3,100. So really unchanged, okay? We're still trading in a range here, okay, for all intents and purposes. However, when we jump into Alcoa, look at this. Trading at $18. We haven't been at $18 at this range even from last year, okay, pre-corona time, pre-corona time. So this, and look at that, it's actually gapping up and going. So that shows us some relative strength there. Okay, if we do close above this $19, we're teasing with that $20. That's a major number to hit, and that may tease us even higher to the $24, $25 range. Okay, so that is quite essential and very important to keep an eye on, because remember, Alcoa represents some of the old school kind of businesses, okay, which means that consumers are spending money. And if consumers are spending money, then that means overall the picture of the economy is not as bad as everybody makes it out to be. Lastly, looking at Bitcoin, we pretty much consolidated at this 18,000 area-ish level, okay? Around this level, we did challenge this 18,416, but not breaking up above it. Okay, so technically speaking, we are trading in a range right now. It's a short range, but we are trading in a range, even though we're selling off right here. I would expect some people to take some money off the table here. So if it does break that 17,521, I would expect it to recede maybe into the 14,000-ish area. Okay, now all-time highs was 3 years ago in 2020. We'll discuss this today, okay, at Facebook Live, why this is happening, why this is exploding, and what's so timely about it as well. And then we'll discuss it in tonight's webinar, okay, of how to trade it. Okay, so make sure to participate in those two events. So coming at this area right now, if it does break this 17,000-ish level, 521, I do expect it to sell off a little bit, but it's strong. Okay, I wouldn't venture to sell it here. I would look to actually buy it if it does come closer, and keep a very tight stop loss on it, because it could really turn on you quite quickly. So just be aware of that. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish everybody a great trading day. Thank you.